What do you mean onto something as far as?
So think about CM Punk's promo. Think about what he said, and that the greatest submission specialist right now in the business is putting on a smile and a face and a stupid tag team with everybody. Brodus Clay is dancing with these kids, and Tyson Kidd is not being looked at.
Is this the moment, the watershed moment right now, where now Daniel Bryan can drop the gimmicks and wrestle CM Punk every week? And it just, in honesty.
Here's the problem.
Will this break Brodus Clay out of that shell of a character and into the honest phase of wrestling?
And I think that it gives,
as honest as wrestling can be.
I think that it gives Brodus Clay and Tyson Kidd a really good chance. Does it give Daniel Bryan? I don't know, because now already he's coming up with his own alternate personality of the Dazzler or whatever he's doing with that.
They're clearly doing something like that.
Yeah, and maybe he loves this business so much that he's
because the character named Fandango wasn't gay enough. From the makers of Goatface, we bring you the Dazzler.
But his idea is that he dazzles people with his moves, and I mean, when he first came in, he did dazzle me with his moves, and he did have a great move set.
He's got a sense like a Mick Foley sense of making characters. If you wanted to go something that extreme, he's such a likable guy.
But do we know that?
He would be able to
do we know that he has the Mick Foley creativity to make
a character? We don't. But I think we're going to find out with the Dazzler.
I mean, I just think he should stick to what made him what WWE brought in. What made him the submission specialist, using the cow mutilator and pulling the guy up to where his pelvis is on the ground and his whole upper torso is ripping and tearing upwards. Like, what happened to that guy? I don't like the kicking specialist that Daniel Bryan is. I love the knees off the side into the outside. I think that's a great move. But it still he's still hindering his own ability because he's stuck in WWE. And
he's stuck in character mode, and that's the problem. CM Punk never had to adapt to a character. He's always been CM Punk. He's always going to be CM Punk. He didn't need to be anybody else. And that's the problem with Brodus Clay. Antonio Cesaro, another guy. He's going to get stuck behind his name. There's a difference. Kofi Kingston, poor guy. He's never going to be anyone but Kofi Kingston or throw something on like the Wildcat Kofi Kingston.
You know, they're saying that Kofi has a legitimate chance at the Rumble. But, I mean, CM Punk missed out on naming Kofi Kingston. Like, why is Kofi putting on the smiles
They're
and
friends,
the whole thing?
They're friends. I don't think he's going to call him out.
Yeah, but Daniel Bryan and CM Punk came to Ring of Honor.
Then maybe that was the choice to get the push. And there's your answer right now. We're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen in the upcoming months to see whether Brodus and Daniel break out of it or if this promo falls flat and nothing happens.
Was there anything wrong about CM Punk's promo? Was there anything not factual?
No.
Was there anything that just jumped out of you that it didn't function right?
No, he doesn't speak irrationally. That's the brutal honesty that people want, that we try to even represent on this show. And he's dead up. The fourth wall is gone. He's CM Punk.
Yeah.
This is this guy's life.
There is no fourth wall when it
There's
comes to
nothing.
CM
John Cena, you see the same thing. He still seems like he's a character. He might be a good guy at home or whatever, but on the other side, we know there's another side of John Cena that he does not show on WWE TV. I think when you see with Punk is what you get, and it's real, and that's the reason why he's always going to be, doesn't matter what character he ends up playing, he's still always going to be CM Punk.
And he still deserves his respect.
But stuck in character mode, Daniel Bryan, Brodus Clay, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater. Well, those guys are up and coming. It's different. But those are the guys that are stuck.
Yeah, but where was the obligation to Punk to pull him out of that rut or to pull him out of that neutral zone? And is he becoming a company guy by doing this? A locker room guy? I mean, we're talking about future champions in this episode, and we're obviously talking about the most underrated people in the company as far as Tyson Kidd. I don't necessarily know if you can call Brodus Clay.
He got shouted out in that promo too.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson Kidd, I thought I was going to cry for Tyson Kidd. This poor guy is one of the legitimate best in-ring technicians in the business. If you watch TNA and Ring of Honor, not many people move like Tyson Kidd.
Well, it's the same thing with CM Punk. Like, when he's not bullshitting anybody, he is the best wrestler in the world. He can put on a show. He can do not only the real wrestling matches, but the real the best promos wrestler as well.
People will argue the best wrestler because there's Austin Aries, because there's Randy Orton, because there's Daniel Bryan.
Keeping it just in WWE for the sake of this conversation, it's like, yeah.
Without a doubt, he's the best best superstar, best overall, everything. He's top 5 in every aspect of what it takes to be a superstar. But is he the best wrestler in the company? I don't know if we can say that anymore.
Are you talking about like
Ziggler?
the technical wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference if you want to slice it down like that. As far as overall package.
The superstar package.
And especially as far as being like, you know.
He is the best in the world
The
as a
WWE
superstar.
champion.
Yeah.
It really is.
And he's the best. He's the best in the world as the superstar.
But these are the things that really made me happy to see the promo Monday, because The Rock coming out, clearly The Rock mastering promos in his time, came into this one with no notes written on his hand, and he really he hung back and forth.
Punk was
this
right.
This is what we're missing in his era. When Rock was there arguing with Mick Foley, or Foley was arguing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, or the McMahon character, there were characters there that can verbalize and freestyle on the mic and have a ridiculous promo. Punk and Rock's promo, one of the best, man. It definitely in old school, real wrestling.
I don't agree.
Real promo. You know what the promo?
I think that The Rock fell short, and CM Punk's right. You're graduating from the kiddie table. I've been swinging for the fences, because The Rock has only so much to work with. His finalies and his whatever.
Yeah, but that's his thing, and he hit his marks. He needs to say those things.
But even if he has nothing that he brought to the table against Punk that he had against John Cena, it's all appearance. It's all what the fans think. It's this, and that. But when we saw The Rock in his prime, it wasn't just about those things. I mean, he was tearing Chris Jericho from his asshole in. You know, he was taking apart.
But who else is like that now? This is the era where he was in. Who else can Punk go back and forth with like that?
I mean, John Cena, I thought that John Cena and CM Punk naturally, when they first started feuding, was much better than the first promo between The Rock and Punk. Punk won that. The Rock was stuttering. The Rock was relying on his old stick. CM Punk looked him in the face and said everything he wanted to say, everything he believed to say. Unlike others, I'm happy you're back so I can kick your ass. I don't care what your schedule is, so I can kick your ass. We've never heard Punk talk like that.
That's what I'm talking about. We don't normally see promos like that.
But
he can't talk to anybody else like that.
But that's why this falls short, is because The Rock, for the first time in his career, came out and didn't look as good and as TV ready as he normally has. And
I thought he was way less TV ready his first time back. I thought he was way more comfortable this time.
He shitted on Cena his first time back. But coming back from Punk,
the videotape promos are the ones he was better at. Those are the ones where he actually had time to take another take. He's like an actor.
Warm-up.
He seemed very comfortable, and he actually was really good for Punk to play off of. Those are those superstar promos that are sorely lacking. There's no other combinations.
His arms are too short to box with God.
I love that line. That can't be Punk's.
No.
That's a written line somewhere.
His tongue is too short to talk with Punk right now, in my opinion. I think Punk has been doing this. Punk is the WWE champion because he can handle the everyday role of the business, and we're seeing that no matter what the case is that Punk is going to be better than whoever part-timer they bring in. Chris Jericho, one of the best promos of all time, fell short against Punk.
Really thought he was going to take the belt at that point.
I mean, I did too. And people are going to say The Rock's going to take the belt at Royal Rumble. Not happening. Read my article. The Shield's going to keep that from happening. What happens is The Rock's going to win Chamber over somebody not named Punk. And that's what's the case, because The Rock's garbage. Everybody should know that he can't beat Punk. Punk's in the prime, Rock's in the comeback, and his promos just. I mean, granted, I love The Rock. I thought he was the best. But when you're coming back 10 years later and you still expect me to eat that fucking hot garbage up, I'm not going to do it.
It hasn't been 10 years. It was 1 year. Not even. He made his appearance.
But I wasn't sold on...
Plus, he also already made it known that he was going to be wrestling Punk. Punk's already gave him the GTS.
Even more of a reason why he should have looked better. His public speaking was not as good as when he came back against John Cena.
Let's look away from performances alone. Are you looking forward to this match happening?
Not the match. I'm looking forward for the continued promos because The Rock is going to get better and there's going to be more things said. But I think right now,
I'm hoping they make it more honest, like Punk, and I think Dwayne's smart enough to be able to figure that part out.
But I don't think there's anything honest about The Rock.
Well, as honest as the Rock character can be, I think that when the whole contract thing happened with Punk and McMahon coming out and calling him Phil and all this stuff and trying to do what Punk does, I think Rock probably will have a good back and forth. Remember what Jericho and Punk had, the whole thing with your parents are alcoholic, CM drunk, and all that stuff? It was ridiculous. There was nothing smart about it. There was no intellectual. There wasn't anything beefy about it. It was all very cartoonish. Even Punk's reactions in a lot of those matches are just
the best part about Chris Jericho coming back was the vignettes that led up to Chris Jericho coming back. There was no execution on what the story was. There was plenty of build up to the story, though. I think that there is no build-up to The Rock Punk, but there's going to be better execution, and we're going to see an evolution of execution. By the time the Monday before Royal Rumble, you're going to see The Rock and CM Punk screaming at each other, because I don't think these guys actually like each other. I don't think they have anything in common. I think The Rock has I think they have a mutual respect.
I see CM Punk definitely disliking.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
definitely. And even if he didn't, he's still gonna take it. It's gonna be a brutal match, and I'm really looking forward to see what's gonna happen. What if he doesn't play nice? I mean, CM Punk has the possibility and the skill and technique to break Rocky's ankle. You know that.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine if that went that way? You know what? Fuck you, movie star. Boom. There's your elbow. Now you're really not wrestling, and there goes the WWE show. I don't think he's gonna do that. So he will participate. Will he get the chance to beat the shit out of this guy, The Rock? Don't you want to see CM Punk beat up the Tooth Fairy? Beat up the actor? Beat up the Rock?
I really do. But you know what I also see? I see
with his skill set.
I see a Montreal Screwjob coming up for
I said the same thing a couple weeks ago. I agree that I think it's time. Vince has been keeping his face in everything, so you know that it's something coming.
But I mean, is it going to be realistic? I think it's going to be a real life Bret Hart moment, because I think Punk is going to be pissed off and not want to give up that title because he doesn't believe he should lose it to The Rock.
And that, to me, is what I want to see the most about The Rock and CM Punk, is the real-life ramifications of what could possibly happen after Punk loses the title. Does he stay nice corporate boy, company boy? Who does he wrestle? What happens after Dwayne goes? Or is The Rock going to be here enough in the next 2 or 3 months that the rivalry is really going to just put a legacy of great, funny, interesting, exciting wrestling memories?
The Rock's definitely going to be around all the way up until WrestleMania. He's going to be at Chamber. He's going to be at most of the Raws, and he's going to be at most of the SmackDowns. That's without a doubt. They've already announced all that. He's going to be putting in his time. But the point is that where did you come off just getting a title shot? I think that another side of the coin is not only what's the ramification for WWE, but what's the ramification for WWE as a corporate entity? Is these old people or these past stars coming back continually? There's too much reliance there.
We're going to see a lot of that next Monday, the 20th anniversary.
We're going to see it all the way up until WrestleMania because we still have Hall of Fame.
It's like they used to say with the midgets. People like watching the midgets. They just didn't want to watch them every week. It was always midgets and women's wrestling back in the day. And every now and then you would bring it in. And you would do something almost as a novelty.
I mean,
bringing these people back constantly as a consistent thing is somewhat great for nostalgia when you're expecting these guys to work. I mean, honestly, it makes me sad thinking that maybe a lot of these old-timers are actually doing this because they're getting paid more, because they need the money. And WWE, instead of taking care of these guys that built this legacy, they're like, all right, I'll throw you $5,000 for jumping the ring this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever, one-time appearance.
You're still flesh peddling kind of thing?
Basically, it's still wrestling no matter what.
I mean, obviously the corporate monster that is Vince McMahon will do anything and everything. But
and that's the reason why they won't do, we were talking before about Sting versus The Undertaker, doing WrestleMania and letting Sting win 2 out of 3. Or having the third match end a draw.
Vince McMahon is such a Nazi for this. What else could WWE give to the wrestling industry but letting somebody that did not make his business good, or that did not need the WWE to be a star? What other way to legitimize wrestling? What other way to bring it back into the forefront of just standard media? I mean, obviously The Rock and Punk, I mean, there's a lot going into that where they're bringing real life situations, and The Rock going from mainstream back to wrestling. People are going to be talking about this. It's going to be on ESPN.
Let's see exactly. Let's see what this is going to do.
Sting and Undertaker would have done the same thing, just because everybody knows both names. And you could have seriously legitimized the whole industry if you just gave Sting the victory everywhere except for WrestleMania. I mean, you're just out of your mind. And it's, that's the failures of corporate WWE. The failures of corporate WWE.
Exactly. It's seeing more as
and we'll see if it comes to haunt them with The Rock and CM Punk.
The fans' eyes don't get recognized, but I think that would really cement a legacy to go with their then, now, and forever. If you want to be forever, you have to create timeless storylines, and ending both legends out like that would be a real class act. But like you said, something we're never going to see.
Yeah.